if Papa J Bear puts this up at I'm Not Owen Benjamin, hit the Rogans Up button and share it. Hello, everybody. It's a nice little rain here in Ohio. Nice little rain. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm going to do a short one today. I know I always say that and I never do. But I'm jumping rope, got a little bored. Has this happened to you guys? Like, I know I should work out more, but I just can't get the excitement I used to. I like working, like moving. I make sure I move every day. But I used to love just jumping rope for an hour and a half, and now I do it. You know, you got to keep the blood flowing, but it's just not as exciting as it once was. I used to get so into working out, and now I'm just all right. And it's not a lack of motivation. You know, I'll hike for hours, or take a kayak miles. I just, I don't know, just jumping up and down. I almost feel like it's a grab or a lie. All right, what do you guys want to talk about? You should try BJJ. See, it's 6'8", 260. It's not really everybody, when you do fighting classes and stuff, people just look at you like, this guy. Someone's going to hurt their knee. Hobart show was a blast. Thanks for a great show. Oh, anytime. Did Hollywood use Rogan's body as an example of the hobbits in Lord of the Rings? No, Rogan's too short. Dude, someone, it was a really funny thing. Do I golf? No, I'm not into sodomy. Someone said, Nick Fuentes is living rent-free in your head. And it was just too perfect of a setup. I was like, no, he lives rent-free with his mom. Oh, man. Dude, it's milk is not that expensive. You can choke everyone? No, that's the thing is smaller guys can still beat me up if they're really good at fighting. But it's just when you, fight with giant dudes, there's just a higher, percentage of just an unnecessary injury, and it does bother people. Come to Maine? Oh, yeah, Maine sounds based. What's a good source on growing produce? Oh, they're everywhere. Just get a book. There's so much information. See, this is the thing. For everything bad about YouTube and all that, there's so much information on literally everything now. There's no excuse to not learn. I became a farmer in 6 months. A full-blown, we don't go to the grocery store except for, specific things guy. Hey, Owen, verified JoJo Beamer. Welcome, JoJo Beamer. Juju Bear. Papa, I told you dinos were fake. Oh, dude, dinos are so fake. It's kind of devastating. I used to want to be a paleontologist. Everybody did. But the hoax is so sloppy. It's so sloppy. It's not even close. Welcome, Juju Bear. You should skip college and learn everything off YouTube, save your money. Exactly. You and Nick Fuentes agree on almost nothing. I have nothing against Nick Fuentes. I have something against adult breastfeeding. It's weird. I breastfed for a while as a kid. You know? I kept my mom's immune system, saved money, build healthy bones. Then you quit. It's milk isn't that expensive. People keep thinking that this is political or something. I have a problem with grown men who suckle on their mommy's teats, and they call them milkers. He's 20. Yeah, we probably agree on a lot of stuff. We both call out grab words, we're hilarious, whatever. He has to stop breastfeeding. Fake dinosaur streamer brewing. Oh, yeah, dude, it's pretty great. Welcome, Bruce and Bear. He still breastfeeds? Yes! He calls his mommy's milkers. He calls them milkers. And he still lives with his mom so he can feed. It's so weird. You're at the 6,000 years old, right? You're banned. I just need a good. I just need a good banning. You know, everybody was being so nice. BB, you should mail Fuentes a case of ghost mail. I know. I should. When I was in Chicago Airport, I saw the dinosaurs and immediately had a notion that something was up. Oh, dude, it's grocery shopping, listening to live stream on blast. Sweet. Hey, everybody, it's good you're buying milk. Hey, everyone in the grocery store, thank you for buying milk. Nick Fuentes doesn't buy milk. He sucks on his mommy's teeties. Fuentes is the best show on YouTube. Mommy milk crushes over store toxic store, Jew pasteurized milk. Ugh. I can't even watch his show. It's too gross. It's like just to know that every morning his mom does this with his mouth and says, "Is my big boy feeling his best?" And then he puts on his fancy pants, and his mommy puts a nice fresh lolly in his little mouth, and he goes off. Love to see a stream with David the Good. Oh yeah, David the Good's great. Welcome, Dairy Bear. You know, his mom must be in hell. That's why everybody's like, oh, he just has a really close relationship with his mom. His mom probably feels stuck. You know? Feels so stuck. Where it's like, just go. And it's so crazy when all his fans are like, cringe. Oh, you're living rent-free. He's living rent-free in your house. I'm like, no, he's living rent-free in his mom's house. I don't give a shit about his politics. You know, that's one thing that E. Michael Jones is so good at teaching young men is how to disagree like men. You know, not this whole like, you know, I don't agree with everything you say, but I'm just glad you have the right to say it. Okay, baby boomer. This is how you do it. E. Michael Jones and the Kurgan, both diehard Catholics, right, having an argument about the role of the Pope. Kurgan hates the Pope. E. Michael Jones is like, it's the Pope. And they're just like getting fired up. And E. Michael Jones is just like, it is what it is. And that was it. And they just had a blast together. That's how you do it. People have to start acting more like curmudgeon-y old men that are just like, what are you going to do? It's so funny. You know, like one of my friends, was a little suspect to E. Michael Jones at first because he was so fired up about some stuff. And, you know, my friend doesn't trust the Vatican for obvious reasons. And then he started liking E. Michael Jones when he started watching him play, like, that funny song. And I'm like, dude, he's like that when he orders soda. He's like, can I get a soda? You know, he's just like a curmudgeon. It's so great. And so that's why I was like, you and Nick Fuentes agree. It's like, dude, I don't associate with people who breastfeed at 20. I mean, is there no line? Is there no line? Shapiri's a lesbian? Oh, EMJ is about it's not as there's no left or right. Dan Crenshaw and Cortez can just argue themselves into some sort of sexual encounter. That's what I think is probably going to happen. They're going to LARP. My dream is that everybody just starts not paying attention to any of these people. You can tell who's a brand. You can tell who is a real person. A real person, like real people. Like I have a friend who's a Muslim, and we talk all the time. He's a great guy because he's a real guy. It's like a year ago, I would have thought that was fundamentally insane because we disagree on. No, there's real. Me and E. Michael Jones, I used to despise the Catholic Church. I still do on certain levels. Like hate. And he's one of my favorite dudes. To the point where now I'm like, well, I mean, those kind of Catholics are great. It literally is, are you talking to a real person or a brand? Someone who's taken the ticket and has submitted their word, logos. And so just don't pay it. Like the TV is all bullshit. All of it. It's all bullshit. Nick Fuentes supports. I don't care who he supports or who he doesn't support. He puts his mom's milkers in his mouth and suckles as a breakfast treat. Like, what the fuck? The MJ has his own Catholicism. Well, he's how men should act. Someone's like, yeah, well, the Pope's a globalist. What's up, the red shirt? He's just like, it's the Pope. And some people are like, oh, that's submission. No, it isn't. There's just realities. You know? It's like people are so self-absorbed that they just make all these dramas massive. Does he really? I thought it was just a running joke. From all accounts, he allegedly breastfeeds from his mommy. Fuente's mom still buys him underwear. Yes, and this is what I will say. He does refer to her breasts as milkers. His mother. What's your logical conclusion? All Marines have been activated, BB. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. Dude, it's like the same script gets pumped in every week. It's like, dude, it's about to go down. It's just about to go. And I'm just sitting here enjoying a nice rain under a beautiful canopy in a nice little anonymous spot of Ohio. Just jumping rope, talking to bears. And people are like, dude, 5G is the reason I can't have kids. No, it's because you whack off every single night in your basement watching pornos. Well, the sperm count in the West is down 50%. It must be the chemtrail. No. It's because you jerk off all the time. There's never been less active duty military in the history. Well, no. Since World War II, there's never been less active duty in the military. They keep shutting down the military. It's the opposite of what you're told on the media because they're lying intentionally to you. You heard about the current state of Iraq. Don't care. I have no control over it. I'm sure it's a mess. I'm sure people dropped a bunch of bombs and no one came in and started businesses and families. So now it's just a mess. When are we getting tour shirts, BB? I'm not in charge of that. Bring Fuentes on board. Can't be divided on such. I don't associate with men who breastfeed from their mommies, quote unquote, milkers. I have more in common with. I just don't get. There is no goal in these people. Like people are like, oh, he's saying all the right stuff. What? He's just saying that Israel's up to some bullshit? Way to go. It's the same tactic that Shapiro used to do, where he'd say abortion was wrong, and thirsty people like me would be like, oh, I'm on board. Yes, any living person can see that Israel's up to no good. Now, let's address the situation with your mommy. You're punching right. I know. It's so stupid. They said that to me about Dan Crenshaw, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Dennis Prager. They're all a bunch of fucking pussies. Thanks for the stream, BB. Anytime. I'll do 10 more minutes. Owen, do you really not believe in dinosaurs? I'm open to your opinions. Of course I don't. It's retarded. You better be open to my opinions. You know, it's just a fresh ladle of gravy. This is the best way to handle it now. Because dinosaurs, not only are they not real, it's one of the worst hoaxes. It's so badly executed. There's not a single dinosaur. And I know people are just going to say, oh, yeah, there is. Me and my dad found one. Shill. There's not one single dinosaur skeleton in any museum that's real. And their excuse, you can always tell by the details of the excuse. It's radioactive. Now that the radioactive lie has been unwound, that's so fucking dumb. There's no evidence whatsoever. And it was started, the psyop of dinosaurs was started before anyone even found a bone. Yeah, there used to be giants. There used to be a couple dragons and shit. But not this 150 million year ago Triassic, Cretaceous, Stegosaurus, all nonsense, all bullshit. They find one bone and fake the rest. Right. A lot of those bones, they find one bone of a old saber-toothed tiger or a woolly mammoth Smithsonian is as bad as the Vatican. Yes, they did find giant bones. There were dragons? Yes. They were like giant monster-like things. Not that long ago. You know, there was one type of bear that was like 15 feet high that just ate fucking everybody. Like there is a record of animals that have been here and gone. All of dinosaurs is gone. It was to push the fossil fuel narrative that would explain oil scarcity. That the oil pumping nonstop out of the ground with no ending, if it was actually from decomposing dinosaurs and ancient forests, there would be scarcity of it. It would be some of the most valuable shit in the world. It isn't, because it's not. Carbon-14 dating, total bullshit. Okay, so they can't find any human bones that are the gap between us and our common ancestor with the chimpanzee. None. But yet they can find bones from 100 million years ago. Mammoths are real. Oh yeah. No, there's shit like that. There's shit like that. And there was also giant people. One of my ancestors found giant people. Clark from Lewis and Clark. Fact. Found giant people. Well, bones. And then Smithsonian grabblers grabble it all up. The earth produces oil. It has to. In the 70s, they're like, oh, peak oil, we're about to run out. Not only have we not run out, we mechanized China, India. Like, we have more oil pumping out of the ground than any time ever, and it's only getting cheaper. Water's cheaper, or water's more expensive than oil. And people are like, oh, fossil fuels. Fossil fuels? They say that dinosaurs evolved into chickens. But yet there's a global extinction event. It hits so many globalist talking points that it's laughable. You have, worldwide extinction events, nuclear bombs, all bullshit. Evolution, total bullshit. And scarcity of oil, total bullshit. Rockefeller funded, you know how I've always used Rockefeller as an example of like really evil people that aren't grabbers? Did you guys know that the Rockefellers are grabbers? They changed their fucking name. All right. Darwinism and Big Bang is atheist religion. Right, and atheism is slavery. That's the irony. It's the upside down. If you think you can be your own God, you're a slave. Adios, amigo. Because this is all being pushed by people, because we are in a perfect world. It's fallen because of the people in it. But like the systems are not, the human cannot stop the realm. The plane. Take off the T of planet. What do you get? Plane. Rockerbergs. Never knew that, dude. Rockefellers are fucking Jewish. 11/3/2019 falls flight in Seattle. Notice better be prepared. All right, man. What about agnosticism? There's no such thing. I used to think I was an agnostic, but there's no such thing. If you believe in truth, you believe in a creator. I was never an atheist, just an agnostic. Me too. I get it. There's no such thing, though. It's another Jewish lie. J.P. Morgan was also the front for the Rothschild. Yeah, it's all of them. It's the grabblers did a full takeover. And they own the Smithsonian, the Rockefellers funded all of the dinosaur endeavors, same with the Rothschilds. BB, how do you stop seeing patterns? Why would you want to stop seeing patterns? The elite are gathering animals and seeds from all plants and storing them in Antarctica. They are trying to build the Ark if they haven't. Stop. Most of the elites are just like Fuentes-type grabblers. Faith in God is the only faith you should have. Exactly. Someone was saying owning the media is key. No, it isn't. Not paying attention to the media. Allegedly there's an opioid crisis that is killing people, right? Does it affect me? No, because I'm not looking for heroin. I'm not taking pills. This is how easy it is to take away the power. Stop watching television. Stop watching approved and authorized media, because it's all bullshit and it's attempting to wear down your mind. So if you say that you have to now take over the media, you're playing right into their game, just like Mean Mr. Mustache did. No, you have to detach. I had a really funny conversation with E. Michael Jones, where one of the things was Like Toe Rogan. Yeah, stop listening to Toe. I haven't listened to Toe Rogan since the last time I did his show. Because at that point I started realizing he was a fucking asshole. Write down the patterns you see so you can stop thinking about them. Or just enjoy the patterns. That's what makes humans humans. My goat doesn't see patterns. I do. All I watch now is sports, and that's literally it. Cool. Well, unauthorized.tv, ladies and gentlemen. It's not authorized. Where did white people come from? You believe the dark-skinned people came first? No idea. I like to point out hoaxes. Because being raised by my father, I learned how liars operate. And how the way you can tell the lie is in the excuses, the cover-up. That we can't go to Antarctica because of the habitat. You know, it's like that type of shit. Or like, there's no real dinosaur bones because they're all radioactive. And you have to paint them with a lead paint. That's the type. There's not one single dinosaur skull in the whole world. Dinosaurs were named by Sir Richard Owen, who was working for the Royal Society before they found a single bone. And there's no record, the Bible, anywhere of any of these dinosaurs. Yes, there's Leviathan, a couple dragons, some giants. Yeah, there's no cultural memory whatsoever of dinosaurs. They don't fucking exist. Was your dad a grabber? Part grabber, yes. I mean, he was the definition of a grabber, even though he was ethnically half English, a quarter Czech Jew, and a quarter Irish. But he's the definition of a grabber. And now he's paying for it. It doesn't end well for these guys. That's why when people say the elites, it's like, like chemtrails. I just think they're trying to control weather. And one of the byproducts is heavy metals. I don't think that there's this big plan. I think a lot of them hate humanity, but they just want control. They want to be God. How tall? Oh, E. Michael Jones is like 22 Rogans. He's wicked tall. CERN doesn't matter. I think it's a tax scam. Why didn't Northern European white people evolve to be hairy, yet Middle Eastern desert people are head-to-toe hair? I don't know. I have no idea. Dinosaurs have been found on the moon, CNN, exactly. They like combining lies. Aluminum is the problem. Yeah, it is. It's not what they care about. It's what they don't care about. Owen, should I load up on ammo? I mean, not real. I mean, the best thing to have is a 22 with a ton of 22 bullets, because if there is a grid down situation with the supply chain is all messed up with food, and the best gun you can possibly have is a 22, because you can hunt small game forever. You can buy thousands of 22 rounds for not that much money, and a 22 can easily kill rabbits, turkeys, pigs. What are your thoughts on fluoride in tap water? Poison. Give yourself a bone or shoot. Yeah, this is what you should think. All armaments, the odds you have to fight another human, pretty low, unless it's someone trying to steal from you. Why not 9mm for defense in small game? Yeah, that works. It's cool. My dad has a 22 and he loves it. Yeah, lambs. There you go, Rye. It's cool, having a 50 cal or something and shooting it, that's pretty sweet. But actual military encounters is pretty rare. I think that we're descending into, well, not we, but I think society is descending in a lower thought. The lizard brain is what they call it. Lower impulse thought, that you're just like a masturbating monkey, And that isn't that's not like ancient wars. It's not like 9mm carbine is sweet, yeah. Remington 870 is a good gun. Yeah, it's Ryan's favorite gun. It's his favorite shotgun. Fleet of UFO spotted in Northern California. No, there isn't. Stop. I'm going to ban you. There's no aliens. Aliens is one of the most obvious psyops ever. I'm impregnating the entire Swedish government. Love it. Impulsive. Can I be verified? Because I used to think there was just blacks. I'm being just, you know me, I'm just being very obvious. Most murders, 22 is the kill, especially in Gary. Everybody has lower impulse control when they, I think the blacks got psyoped harder than the whites in the 50s and 60s. Because they do have lower impulse control. Like, you can just see it in society. I don't know if it's genetic or whatever. But I'm starting to see whites having the same problem. I think it's just, you know, it's a media push, and it's a society push to make you not be able to stop your animal impulses. And that's where actual racism, not the nonsense word, can hurt you, is when you think that it's only non-whites with this problem, when in fact a lot of them have been grabbled earlier. You know, where they've been given the Kool-Aid and the high tops and the bike theft. It makes you think you have a shield that you don't have. There's plenty of whites that are now descending into bike theft territory. More of whites with sports act like animals. Well, whites are starting. You can see it online. I don't know how real it is. You can never tell how real something is. But a lot of whites, you know, it's like all these people going to a Miley Cyrus concert. Like, they might as well be seeing NWA. It's just like gyrating genitals and lies. Yes, control ownership of the media is key to the grabbers manipulating masses. Right, but the answer isn't to control the media, because you're not going to be able to. You got to think war strategy. It's like, just don't engage. Not one human originated from Africa. I think more or less migrated to Africa from other lands. Yeah, I don't trust any mainstream science anymore at all. Zero, none. My dad, 99% chance of bike theft. No dad? Right. Because I'm seeing whites think that they have accomplished something because they're white, and they haven't. They can be grabbled up. And I think that like, you know, whites do have a cool, like Northern Europeans have a cool ability of high trust societies and, you know, storage. Because winter is like just a huge adaptation factor. That if you didn't store food, you literally died. And social shame meant die, right? So those are factors. That being said, not that big of a factor when compared to grabbling. It's like Jordan Peterson probably has lower impulse control at this point than the average black guy. Because he's been so fed his appetites. I grew up without a dad, used to have bike theft tendencies, but snapped out of it. Sweet. Yeah, no dad, you steal your bike because you didn't have a dad to teach you how to ride your bike. That's literally the definition of the evolution. No, it's the definition of adaptation. Evolution, no, I'm not going to ban that guy. Adaptation is very real. You know, wild, domesticated pigs will get tusks in the wild in 2-3 generations. That's not evolution. Macroevolution means a species comes from another species because of mutation. That not only has never been witnessed, never been recreated, never been seen, and it's impossible to theorize. It's total bullshit. Adaptation is not bullshit. Adaptation is very real. Read Darwin devolves evolution to... No, evolution is very... It's as stupid as the Big Bang. It's like nothing exploded, and then everything came, and all the math is wrong, so dark matter. It's like, what? So dinosaurs are fake? 100% to the point where it's so obvious now. Like, the whole campaign of dinosaurs was total bullshit. Like, they're so red-handed. No skeletons actually existed. They were funded by the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Huxleys. You know, and the whole thing was to create just a false timeline. And it became big business. You know, they would grind up chicken bones and use glue to make these ridiculous things. And then their excuse for why there were no real dinosaur bones and they were all recreations is because the real bones are radioactive. Yes, there was saber-toothed tigers. Yes, there was woolly mammoths. Yes, there was giant sea monsters. But it wasn't the timeline we're given. Heart is broken of the dinosaurs? Yeah, you'll live. I used to fucking want to be a paleontologist. Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic. I get it. Truth will set you free. Okay, here's the rule. If Steven Spielberg makes a movie about it, it's to push a lie. Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, E.T. Just think about what Spielberg makes. E.T. A lot of pedophilia propaganda and pushing the narrative of extraterrestrial aliens. Schindler's List. Don't need to get into that one. Jurassic Park. Total bullshit. Like, what are some other big Spielberg movies? Spielberg, a spiel is a lie. First-hand accounts, I love you, closer. All lies. That's an awesome rule. Yeah, if Spielberg made it into a movie, it's a grab or lie. Maybe dinosaurs are a setup to cover dragons. That's a possibility, and giants. There's actual accounts of people finding giant bones. Rogan is proof of dinos. The T-Rex arms is dead. Yeah, Rogan. Was Schindler's List real story? No. God, no. Sorry for laughing. Indiana Jones had a pedophile in it in the storyline. They wrote it so that Indiana Jones' love interest was 12 when they first met because they thought it would make it exciting. They're pedophiles. Poltergeist, and they also were saying that they were grabbing the entire Jesus history as well with the Holy Grail and all that. It's just total nonsense, and it's always to push the narrative that the Nazis were more bad than everyone else. They weren't good, but they weren't worse than anyone else in that era. Like that's my take on the Nazis. It's like, yeah. That's the best wizardry is half-truths, where it's like, yeah, the Nazis did some really horrible stuff, but no worse than FDR or Stalin or any of these people, or Lenin, not even close. A lot of it was a horrible reaction. I was joking with E. Michael Jones about this, where I said, supposedly Indiana Jones was Admiral Byrd. Yeah, they're trying to grab Admiral Byrd in that and the movie Up. The man they find in Up is supposed to be Admiral Byrd. Heather O'Rourke. Yeah, Spielberg allegedly raped a girl to death. Yeah, Stalin killed or was responsible for way more deaths. I don't know if that's even true anymore. This is the thing. You can't hunt and peck. You can't be like, well, this history from this liar I'll believe and this one I won't. It's like when you show people something was fake and they're like, oh, that was debunked. Oh, all right, this is how I'll end right now. I'm going to jump some more rope. Up Made Me Cry. It's a beautiful song. Yeah, the love story is beautiful. When someone's like, oh, you're one of those conspiracy theories, this is what you say. You say, oh, you got dry biscuits and you don't want any gravy. That's fine with me. More gravy for me. You know, a lot of people that know something to be true and others won't admit it, they get very frustrated and angry at everyone else. That's not a fun existence. It's like, oh, you don't want a ladle of piping hot gravy? That's fine. More gravy for me, less for you. And they're like, no, well, you're a conspiracy theorist. It's like, you have dry biscuits. You eat your dry biscuits. I will be dipping them in country gravy, piping hot. Oh, you don't like gravy? That's fine. Have you done a deep dive into Admiral Byrd? I'm working right now on Byrd and dinosaurs. That's how you handle it. Just because it's true. It's like, you want some gravy or you don't want any gravy. If you don't want, and then eventually it's like, please, sir, may I please have some more gravy? More? You want more gravy? Now you're ready for a ladle of piping fresh gravy because you're sick of the dry biscuits. It's like, there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to admit a lot of this is bullshit because it hurts their childhood, because their dads failed and they were raised by Mr. Rogers and fucking dinosaur cartoons. So now they're like, oh, my whole childhood is ruined. That's because you didn't have a dad that was around. He was whacking off like you're whacking off now. That's the whole problem. Your childhood should not be ruined because of a lie called dinosaurs and the moon landing. That's because your family failed you. And if you want some gravy, you came to the right gravy stand. And if you don't want gravy with your dry biscuits, then chomp away. chomp away, chomp, chomp, chomp away. But me and my people are going to dip our biscuits in some fresh gravy. Dry biscuits like Las Vegas. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh no, Epstein just killed himself. There's nothing to see here. It's like, if you don't want any ladles of gravy, then you can eat your dry biscuits and choke on the crumbs. Because they're missing out on the best time ever. Life is very, very fucking depressing for these people. Have you not looked around at these people being like, oh, the moon landing is great. I'm going to watch the pornos. I'm going to watch Hannity, and then I'm going to watch MSNBC, and I'm going to get the full spectrum of knowledge of this world. Oh, my dick doesn't work. Oh, I don't have a dick. My dick doesn't work. I'm going to take some pills for my dick. It's like, dude, if you want to live like that, you fucking live like that. I'm not trying to convince my goats anything. They're goats. If you want to eat your dry biscuits, you eat your fucking dry biscuits. Should we eat the baby? Right, but it's even engaging too much in that. Just laugh at it and move on. Piping hot gravy for free. You don't have to, if you want to support, P.O. Box 727, Gig Harbor, Washington, 98335, or subscribe. We should subscribe to unauthorized.tv anyway. Unbearablesmerchandise.com for some great t-shirts. But you got to stop being a victim. You got to stop being like, oh, they won't hear the truth. Then fuck them. If you don't want biscuits with gravy, then you choke on your biscuits. You know, it's like this whole mentality. I see it with truther people now too, where it's like, oh, why can't I convince the masses? Why can't I convince the masses? Oh, my dick doesn't work anymore. I gotta watch too many pornos. It's like, fuck you. You don't get to convince the masses. You ain't God, nigga. All you can do is serve the gravy. Serve the gravy. I'm in the service business of gravy. And if you want to eat your biscuits without gravy, you can go fuck yourself. Why can't I convince the masses? The Tavistock Institute can't convince the masses. I exist. You exist. If they can't, you think you can? You can't do shit except eat your gravy. Boomers are impossibly lost. No, they're not. I've met boomers that are not lost. All right, unauthorized.tv. Crusades were 90% justified. You don't know that. I will do a deep dive and I will ladle gravy. We don't know. Because there's two lies to it. There's one lie that the white Europeans are such bad guys who want to kill all the brown people. There's another lie that like, oh, the Muzzies were constantly invading and we had to kill all the Muzzies. I'm going to go out on a limb and that's a Cortez Crenshaw situation. I think there's more to it than that. Eat your gravy. All right, I'll see you guys at the show tonight in Ohio. Much love. If Papa J. Bear puts this up at I'm Not Owen Benjamin, hit the Rogans Up button and share it. Because just, you get to enjoy the gravy. Stop getting mad that other people want dry biscuits. And just say, can I get some gravy?